The golden crescent of happiness and celebration is up there in the sky. People are in a celebration mode. Welcome once again to News Analysis. News Analysis, a weekly magazine on current affairs. To begin with the main points in a nutshell. Union accuses China of illegal clean energy subsidies. US urges Iraqis to try new plan to share power. US Quran burning event on hold, says Pastor Terry Jones. Gang strike paralyzes El Salvador. Alien oceans could be detected by telescopes, NASA. Pakistan cricketers set to return home following allegations. And now the news in detail. Union accuses China of illegal clean energy subsidies. A broad trade case filed on Thursday by an American labor union accusing China of unfairly subsidizing its clean energy industry pressed a hot-button jobs issue in the United States during a congressional election season. But even if the Obama administration agrees to pursue the case, it could prove hard to resolve as both countries consider their industry is crucial to energy security and future economic growth. The filing by 850,000 member United Steelworkers Union accuses China of violating the World Trade Organization's free trade rules by subsidizing exports of clean energy equipments like solar panels and wind turbines. Through its policies, fair otherwise, China has helped turn its makers of that equipment into global leaders, while manufacturers in the United States and Europe have struggled financially, cut jobs, and in some cases moved operations to China. President Obama has cited clean energy manufacturers' priority on economic and environmental grounds, and in a speech this week he called for a homegrown clean energy industry. Mr. Obama has shown a willingness to confront China before imposing steep tariffs a year ago on Chinese tire imports, a decision that China is itself challenging before WTO panel in Geneva, which is expected to give an initial ruling this month. Whether or not the administration wants to risk escalating trade tensions with China right now, the timing of the union's petition has thrust the issue in congressional election season. The union filed under the law that requires the Obama administration to make a decision on whether to pursue the case within 45 days, which would be October 24, a week and a half before the elections. Once we file the case, we are going to take it into the rest of the public, Leo W. Gerard, president of the union, said before formally submitting the case. We are going to mobilize around this. If the administration does take up this case, the first step would be to ask China for bilateral consultations, which in a few months might lead to the formation of WTO dispute resolution panel in Geneva, unless either side back down first. A succession of mostly Democratic members of the House and Senate issued statements through the day on Thursday, endorsing the steelworkers' case. The support, together with public anxiety about the unemployment and the rise of China, could make it hard for the administration to refuse the union's request. Nefertari Macpherson, a spokeswoman for the Office of the United States Trade Representative, said the office had accepted the union's petition and would reach a decision on whether to open an investigation of Chinese trade practices within the designated 45 days, even though the administration has option of extending that deadline. The filing of the trade case comes as a trade and currency friction with China are mounting. On Friday morning in Beijing, late Thursday night in New York, China announced that it ran another large trade surplus in August of $20.03 billion. The Chinese mission to the WTO in Geneva declined to comment on the steelworkers' filing on Thursday on the grounds that no case has been filed yet at the WTO and that any initial consultation between the United States and China would be bilateral. Wang Baodong, a spokesman for the Chinese embassy in Washington, urged cooperation instead of confrontation. Great potential exists between China and the US in developing clean energy, and both Chinese and the US governments support their enterprise in collaborating in this promising sector with the aim of creating a win-win situation commercially and helping combat the climate change effect. US urges Iraqis to try the new plan to share power. The Obama administration is encouraging a major new power-sharing arrangement in Iraq that could retain Nouri Kamal al-Maliki as prime minister, but in a coalition that would significantly curb his authority.
أطمئن الجميع بأن في العراق قوة أمنية من الشرطة والجيش متعاون معها الشعب هي كفيلة بحفظ الأمن واستقرار وإدامته.
I must refer to an opinion that believes or says that the withdrawal of the American forces, the coalition forces, in accordance with the security agreement, would give rise or a chance to terrorism to come back again. I say no, this will not happen again, because the police and the army and the community in Iraq are all united to stop this and not allow terrorism to come back again to Iraq.
The compromise plan was promoted in Baghdad last week by Vice President Joseph R. Biden Jr., though at a time when American influence is waning and the United States continues to draw down troops. The new plan would alter the structure of Iraq's government by bringing additional restraints to the authority of Iraq's prime minister and establishing a new committee with authority to approve military appointments, review the budget, and shape security policy. American officials said that the approach, which aims to bring Mr. Maliki's state-to-flow party, Ayad Alawi's Iraqiya party, and the Kurdish alliance into a governing coalition, represents the best chance to break the political logjam that has left the Iraqi public without new government 6 months after voters went to the polls. A senior American official said that the plan was likely to result in a new government over the next months or so, and that Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton could travel to Baghdad at that time. "We don't really see what the other option there is out there," said another American official who asked not to be identified because he was discussing confidential negotiations. "If we have national unity, government that is less efficient but perceived as representative and accountable to the Iraqi people, we think that's better for the future of Iraq. Let's watch what the citizens say now." American officials assert that they do not have a preferred candidate for prime minister, but the proposal is intended to make Mr. Maliki or a strong-willed successor more palatable to the rest of the broad-based governing coalition. The redefined authority would be codified by the new legislation, but would not require that the constitution be amended.